What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So I'm back from the doctor, and I'm here with a Frost video. We got 5 Tau Shards on Frost. We're going to be going over a big crit damage Frost build meant for Steel Path, AoE killing everything. It's not really a defense build. If you want to go over a defense build, you definitely want to mod for more armor and health to make his bubble have more hit points. But yeah, we're going over Nourish Red Crit Frost today. Lots of things on this build might not be obtainable for you, but they are things that you could technically work towards. We're going to talk about Tau Shard acquisition at some point here in the video too. And I'd say if you are annoyed by me having 5 Tau Shards, don't get annoyed at me, get annoyed at DE. But don't get fully annoyed at DE until the end of the month. We're going to likely have a dev stream like the last Friday of the month. And if there's nothing about Tau Shard crafting in that dev stream, then that's a little bit fishy. Either way, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do Warframe video uploads every single day, and we also got the live stream channel on screen right now. We do lots of Warframe live streams. Lots of the testing for this build was going down on the live stream, so go check it out if you want to see an early sneak peek. Alright, so Tau Shard Frost. The idea of this build is basically to make it where lots of viral procs are happening. As you can see, potentially, I'm using Nourish. Until they nerf Nourish, I'm not going to switch off Nourish, honestly. And if they don't nerf Nourish, yeah, it's just a new meta helmet for lots of frames. So yeah, we've got Nourish, which will give us viral damage on our weapons, viral AoE damage whenever we get shot, and also it will make it where we get an increased energy multiplier. So if I pick up an orb, it will be like over 100 energy. With how much power strength we have exactly right now, we can actually fully strip enemy armor in one cast of his 4th ability. And since their armor is all gone, that viral buff from Nourish will make us do a lot more damage, as unarmored enemies are very weak to viral. A 666,000 damage orange crit. Now keep in mind, we can technically get red crits sometimes. It's just a relatively low chance to proc. Alright, so let's go over what we have here, and let's also get some gameplay on the screen while we're about to start talking about this stuff. Just so you can see what you can kind of expect from this on Circulus Steel Path Survival. So yeah, the thing about Frost's 4th ability, it was massively buffed. The armor strip of this ability used to be really weak at base. We're talking you needed 250% power strength to armor strip enemies in one cast of his 4th ability before. So we chopped off about like 90% power strength requirement, because it only requires 167% power strength now for a full armor strip. That's going to mean things like Molt Augmented Arcane, which gives you power strength per kill, will make it so you don't even need Tau Shards. But I'm showing you the Tau Shard build I currently have. Funny enough, we're running the power strength we need for full armor strip and Molt Augmented, because Nourish does like to have lots of power strength that you can jam it on there. So as you can see, it will not freeze the Acolyte in place, but we can easily remove all the Acolyte's armor, making them very easy to kill with whatever kind of element combination you go for. Nourish will give you guaranteed viral damage on your weapon, so you can mod for whatever else you want on the weapon in addition. So for this build, I was trying out Toxin, so we've got a pure Toxin build, which becomes Toxin Viral. The Toxin will bypass enemy shields. If an enemy is for some reason not going to die to this shot, the Toxin will go through their shield and kill them, which isn't that big of a deal. You can pretty much go for any element you want here. You can go for a heat build, you can go for an electric build. I have a Toxin Brahma, so a Toxin build sounded fine. I tested out the gas build. It wasn't terrible, but I think the Toxin was actually better than the gas build, hilariously. So yeah, you can just basically expect all enemies in the area to be frozen solid. Now, the thing is, the armor strip is a permanent armor strip, but the duration of the freeze is going to be moddable by duration. So your big things you want to go for on this build are going to be enough strength to fully armor strip and a bunch of range. You want to be able to freeze the entire area. And also, we can technically shield gate with all abilities but our 1st ability. I kept the 1st ability on Frost just in case, you know, I was testing some stuff out, to be honest. I wanted to see if primary Frostbite would be good with Frost. As it, you know, he's Frost, and it's called Frostbite. You'd think it'd be good, but the problem is that Frostbite will not proc from Frost's 4th ability unless you... We'll show actually how it works. So, this is the build, and keep on, you don't see the entire set of the build here. We've actually got some Augur mods on our pistol, too, to get some additional Augur bonuses for full shield gate. So, Brief Respite, Augur Reach, and then Augur Pact and Augur Seeker on our pistol. Gonna be 270% energy spent on abilities incurred into shields. So Nourish is going to give us a full shield gate, Snow Globe will give us a full shield gate, and Avalanche will give us a full shield gate, making it so we don't die, basically. as we have no health mods. It doesn't even matter if we have no health mods in this build. Freeze is totally useless for us right now. You could technically use it to get some cold procs if you are using primary frostbite, but the entire reason I have freeze on here is because I was going to be trying out freeze force with primary frostbite, and it ended up not really being worth it, in my opinion. Cold damage is just not very useful. You know, unfortunately, that's how it is. I hope that they add a damage over time to cold or something in the future, or make it where cold procs can actually do something useful eventually. But yeah, not really needed. Biting Frost is on here. It's not a very amazing augment mod. Basically, gives you increased 200% crit chance and crit damage against frozen enemies. But it doesn't scale with power strength or anything like that. So it's just going to be that flat 200. But if you're using crit weapons, might as well use this. And then for the rest of the stuff, we're remaining a Brahma right now, so Prime Sure-Footed to not get knocked over. If you don't have this, there's other ways to do it, but it's going to take more mod slots, basically. Rolling Guard to make it so we're invincible whenever maybe we broke our shield and haven't shield gated yet. Maybe we're looking for an energy orb or something. This will give you some invincibility time and remove status procs like heat procs, slash procs, etc. Umbra Intensify is going to be a good amount of power strength here. We do have an Umbra mod on our Frost. It's actually for the Umbra Bubble build. I don't know if the Umbra Bubble build is actually... It might be under construction right now. But yeah, basically this is like the kind of situation you might want for an Umbra Bubble build. As you can see right here, our Bubble has 10,000 health with this build. And if we look at the non-armor build, it's only got 8,400 health. So if you want to mod his Bubble for more health, you definitely want a different build than this. Prime Continuity, as I said earlier... we're running Nourish, and Nourish is 25-second duration at base, so you do want to increase that some way. Additionally, the duration of being frozen from Frost 4th ability is only 8 seconds, so we increase that as well with Prime Continuity. You could also put on more duration. Since this build does work with no... Well, technically, this build works with no Molt Augmented with our Tau Shards, which we have 2 Tau Shards for blue. Frost has a low energy pool. Frost only has a 150 energy pool. Or Frost Prime has only 150 energy pool at max rank, which is extremely pitifully low. We've gone with 2 Tau energy shards. This will give us an extra 150 energy, so we have 300 energy total. Totally enough to do what we're doing. His 4th ability costs 100 energy. His other abilities cost like 50 energy. So with no Prime Flow, you can comfortably jump around and kill hundreds of enemies per minute with this build. So yeah, two Tau Shards for 2 blue Tau Shards for energy. So we're at a combined total of 300, which is totally enough. If you don't have the Tau version, you'll be at like I think 250 energy, which is still probably enough. The extra 50 is like not even that big of a deal. We've got 2 Tau Shards for strength. Now, if you did want to go down the Molt Augmented route, which we are showing Molt Augmented in the video, you could technically take these off and put duration red shards there instead to make your cold procs last longer. Not your cold procs, your freezing to last longer, your nourish will last longer, and etc., etc. But what I did right here is I said, screw it, I want as much power strength as possible. I don't care if we just need 169 or 167 for full strip. I want a bigger nourish energy multiplier. I want more damage increase from the viral damage. So we went with Molt Augmented and power strength shards here. And the final Tau Shard is a casting speed shard. Frost's 4th ability, Avalanche, is an extremely slow cast speed. So with this, with just 1 Tau cast shard, very fast, you can get that armor strip off, you can start jumping around and killing enemies again. So that's basically the setup there on Frost and the frame. And actually, no, it's not. We forgot about the arcanes. So Arcane Acceleration, as we are maining the Brahma, and the Brahma is a bow, this will make it where you're getting increased fire rate because you're critting all the time with the Brahma. We'll show the Brahma build in a second here. And you don't need Energize. Since we have Nourish, we're getting a ton of energy from every orb, so Energize does not matter for this build. And like I said, Molt Augmented, this build doesn't need it, but I'm going with it anyway. If you don't want to run Molt Augmented, you don't have Molt Augmented, whatever reason, whatever is going to give you more damage is probably what I'd recommend to you. Or if you do want to run Energize, be my guest. Things that will give you more damage, Arcane Rage on Headshot, increased damage for primaries for 24 seconds. It technically works on the Brahma anyway, who even cares? Arcane Rise does not work on the Brahma, I found out today. On Reload, 60% chance for 150% increased damage for primary weapons for 24 seconds. They should put does not work for bows on there, because I was reloading this thing for a good, like, 30 seconds straight and didn't get a single proc of this, so I guess that doesn't work on bows, or at least it doesn't work on the Brahma. And then other things too, I was considering Molt Efficiency, which does give you increased duration up to 36%, which is technically going to be better than Tau Shards. So you could maybe go with this in the end, but remember you have to have shields active to get that duration increase. And honestly, Power Strength is just better than duration most of the time anyway. So that's the build. Let's go ahead and show the Brahma build. And like I said, the pistol does not matter. The biggest thing about the pistol is having Augur, Seeker, and Augur Pact so you can properly shield gate. We're not using our melee for damage here at all, so don't worry about anything like that. Now the Brahma we have, keep on, this can be replaced with other AoE weapons like the Kufa Tonkor, etc., etc. I got on the Brahma because I just got a good Brahma Riven recently I wanted to use. So you've got a 59.2% Toxin Brahma. And of course, like I said earlier, you can change it to be other things. This build is going to become viral plus whatever's modded on here with Nourish active. Now the build is going to be just basically Toxin multi-shot crit. We've got Bane of the Corrupted it's a corrupted mission on Circulus, and we've got Vigilante Supplies. If you have a problem with ammo for the Brahma, you're probably just not getting enough kills or not moving enough, as even with the AoE ammo nerfs, just this is enough to be spamming Brahma for a long time and not running out of ammo. So the Riven is really good. I will admit the Riven is really, really good, and I'm pretty happy about it. But if you don't have a Riven, you could try something else out. Hunting missions is not going to be super important as these enemies are fully armor stripped. But, you know, things like maybe another Vigilante mod, maybe a Fire Rate mod if you don't have primary acceleration or whatever. Speaking of primary mods, you could honestly just mod it for more viral. Like, I'm just goofing off right now to try and make it bypass shields. You could just go with viral and more viral just because viral is good. Or go for a full heat proc build if you have a heat Brahma. Now, here's the thing about primary frostbite on Frost. This is a new arcane added on cold status effect, increased crit damage and multi-shot for 12 second stacks up to 40 times. Sounds like it'd be pretty good on Frost. The only problem is that Frost 4th ability, the main ability you're using with this build, does not cause this to give you stacks. Unless it's just a visual thing, it's not working. I haven't actually tested if it's just visual. But as far as the UI is concerned, this will not give you stacks for primary Frostbite. But I'll show you something that's weird after that. So casting it doesn't give you cold procs. As you can see, nothing up here is working. But if I cast his 1, the 1 gave me full 5 stacks of primary Frostbite, no problem. But here's the thing about his 4. For some reason, if the enemies are affected by your 4 and you kill them, look, it gave me stacks of primary Frostbite. And I have no cold damage on my weapons. I don't know what's happening there, honestly. So if you want to use primary Frostbite on Frost, just remember that if you want, that you will need to affect enemies with his 4 and then kill them. But then remember that it's only going to be a 12-second time frame to do that again. And as you see right there, I killed like 20 enemies, only 3 stacks of primary Frostbite provided. So until that bug is fixed, there's no reason for me to use this on Frost because it's just a massive headache. So I'm going to stick with Merciless in the meantime. If you did keep Frost's second ability, Ice Wave, instead of his first ability, Freeze, maybe that would be better for getting cold procs. But at the same time, they're both not the best abilities, unfortunately. It should work from his third ability, the Snow Globe, cold procking enemies. But again, Merciless is so much more reliable. And if you are going to be running Frostbite, make sure you have some source of base damage on your build. Run like Amalgam Serration, run Normal Serration, run something like that if you are running primary Frostbite, as you're getting a bonus to multi-shot and crit damage, but no bonus to base damage anywhere if you're to run this build with primary Frostbite. So keep that in mind. As far as the last couple things on the build here, we've got Matter Eye Focus School, which is just good. If you want to go with and have more reliable energy regeneration, you could go with Zeneric here, which will multiply the energy per second of Zeneric with Nourish. You'll be getting like 20-ish energy per second, which is definitely good, giving you like an avalanche cast every 5 seconds without any energy orbs in the equation, and just basically always able to cast Nourish whenever you want to. So that could be good, but there might be some situations where you will not be able to shield gate when you need to, like in this video, in the footage on screen right now. I don't know how I didn't die there. That was surprising. You might not be able to shield gate when you want to, when Zeneric is actually going to give you that free energy ability every like minute, I think it is. I find that kind of annoying, but the energy regen of Zeneric is nice. Our companion in this video was Panzercat, and it's basically the only option in endurance runs. This wasn't even an endurance run, it was just me testing out the build. But either way, it's just annoying to revive pets. It's annoying to have your Sentinel die like 10 minutes in. It's like, oh, I don't have that one Protea augment mod to revive it, so I guess I'm screwed. So here's the build I was running there. Just gives you good stuff, you know, pack clear to heal you. You're healing your pet technically, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's the build I usually run. There's also this reload build right here. They're both basically the same thing, honestly, so both pretty good. And yeah, Frost. So as far as Frost in Tau shards in general, I feel like we definitely, okay, the Frost build part is over. Okay, Frost build over. Let's start talking about Tau Shard acquisition. Now, anyone that's been actively paying attention to the game knows that there's really not any way to work towards getting Tau Shards, which are just strictly better versions of the normal shards you can get. This build also is not technically possible without multi-augmented unless you have Tau Shards, as the number you need to reach for full armor strip on Frost 4th ability is 167, and normal, actually it technically would be possible, you'd have to sacrifice a shard slot. So it would be a strictly inferior version if you didn't have Tau Shards, instead of like this casting speed shard or like one of these. To get to that 30% extra strength you need to hit that break point, you would need to get a third red normal shard on here if you were completely no Tau Shards at all. So that is unfortunate. Like I said earlier, the energy shards wouldn't matter as much, and the 25% casting speed also wouldn't matter as much. It's more about the red shards, as those are things that have break points, as like you know, exactly 167 for the full strip. Like I said, you could run multi-augmented, but if you want to have more flexibility, of course, and have the true version of the build, the flexibility of not having to run multi-augmented is pretty nice. So what I'm saying is, if you are annoyed by the crappy method there is right now, basically once per week lever pull, yes or no, did you get it, did you not, you didn't get it, good luck. That's literally all I can tell you is good luck, because there's no other way of working towards it. I think that we're definitely going to be getting some type of announcement on you know, Tau Shard crafting, working towards something in this situation in the January dev stream, which should be on, they haven't announced it yet, it should be on the 27th of January, which is the last Friday of the month. Also, there should be a lot more information than just Tau Shard crafting in there. I think that they're going to definitely do something to make it where you can work towards this stuff, guys, because there's a lot of people complaining. It's funny too, people are like, oh, you got so lucky. I was not lucky at all. Over a month, I didn't get a single Tau Shard. I was so salty about it too. I was so salty about it. I had the word Tau Shard banned in my Twitch chat. You were not allowed to say the word Tau Shard in my Twitch chat for over a month. And other creators were getting multiples of them. I know how you feel, okay? I know exactly how you feel. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, this is the dumbest system ever. I wish Tau Shards didn't exist. Why even make Tau Shards in the first place? There should just be normal shards anyway, because this system is stupid. So I feel like, I still feel that way, by the way. I just feel a little bit less salty because now I have them myself. But I'm still salty I don't have a bunch of red Tau Shards, which are the ones that most people want. I think there will definitely be information released on that stream on the 27th, likely. If there's not, that's when it's like, okay, this is total BS. I'm done with this stuff. We've been waiting for like since last year. I don't know when Veilbreaker came out last year, but we've been doing these Archon resets for like 20 weeks almost. And it's like, there's people that still don't have them. What is this craziness? 20% drop rate. There should be a pity system or something. There needs to be some type of change, because what they have right now is underwhelming. It's not fun. It's a feels bad system. And there's certain versions that are just strictly superior than the other versions. So this was not supposed to be a Tau Shard rant video. That will be saved for the 28th if they don't make any announcements. But yeah, I really hope that they do, and I hope that you guys enjoy this build. It's very fun. It's very strong. It's pretty much just a weapons platform build, right? Like, Frost could definitely still use a little bit of touch-ups. His 1 is like, you know, it's a pretty boring ability, realistically. His 2, which is usually an Ice Wave, I think is really cool, but I wish it had some type of like armor strip or some like damage over time tied to it, where casting his 2 is not just visually awesome, it's also effect-wise awesome as well. So, if you guys enjoyed this, I'm probably going to make a CC Frost build in the future, because my old one for soloing the Steel Path is kind of like not as up-to-date now that Xmas have Overguard. So maybe expect like a CC Frost build in the near future. Either way, guys, I hope you found the video enjoyable and helpful. I'll see you later tonight on stream, and I appreciate all support, guys. Thank you so much, and I'm feeling a lot better, by the way, for the health stuff. All right, guys. See you next time. Peace.